Your friend is Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio this morning, Mr. Jerry Wayne, is the principal of Clinton High School. Good morning, Mr. Wayne.
Good morning, Seth.
And Mr. Koeppel Matt Koeppel is the athletic director of Clinton High School. Good morning, Mr. Koeppel.
Good morning.
Thank you guys for coming out and talking with us. And I'll tell you what, I was going to start with like Apple and Pork Festival, how the school year's going, but we're coming off of the Tuesday night Board of Education meeting where I know we've been hearing about these plans for updated sports facilities at the football and track complex, and it sounds like that ball is like officially in motion, Mr. Koeppel. How excited are you about this?
Actually, I'm very excited. Obviously, it's hard to hold my containment on that because it's a project that I think, first off, our town deserves and our community deserves to have it. And then just the fact that you're there from the inception of it. You know, Jerry and I have talked about it since I've gotten here, of doing something of this magnitude. And if we thought it could happen, could we get there? You know, more schools are starting to do it. And it's just something that, you know, we weren't sure if it would ever actually come to fruition. But it's, you know, the board approved last night to get the bids going and get things rolling. And, you know, that's the first step, get it going, you know, start working on some design work and getting things done, you know, and we just want to make something that Clinton can be proud of as a community and a school district. And that we want it to be and obviously Jerry and I, when we talk about things, we don't talk about doing things that everybody else has. We want things to be a one of a kind and something special uniquely to us. So
without spilling too many of the beans, what does that look like for you?
You know me, Seth. I can't tell you that. So you'll have to just wait, and everybody else have to just wait.
Golly,
kind of like the gym floor thing in the gymnasium. We like to keep things under wraps, but I think Jerry and I have shown that when we work together, and we put our heads together, we can design some things that are unique, they're cool, and they're, you know, kind of on the cutting edge. So hopefully we can continue that through this project, and you know, just make it something everybody can be proud of.
Speaking of, what are you guys hearing about your new gym floor as folks come in for volleyball matches? What are they saying to you, Mr. Wayne?
Well, I haven't had a lot of conversation with a lot of people as far as at the games, but I've had plenty of conversations with community members and everything else. And I think everybody is really excited about the way it looks. It has really changed. And I think maybe more so than I even anticipated, even though we were in the process of, okay, what do we want this to look like? You have them as separate entities. You have the floor itself, then you have the bleachers and what those are going to look like. You talk about, even though we had some storage spaces in there, we obviously rearranged and did some things with storage spaces. So you think of those as individual components, but then when you walk into the place where you see it all that has come to fruition, and you're like, wow, this is unbelievable. And there's been a lot of people that are like, wow, it looks like a completely different place. I think it's different than so many other places that you could potentially go to. It's something that I know Matt and I are very proud of the work that's been put in. You can't say enough about the people that came into our building over the summer that did that work, and the quality that they did, and the professionalism and the way that they went about to get it done in the timely fashion that they did speaks volumes about the people that they are. But we're just, it's example of, you talked about the football facility and what we hope to be able to do. But it's one of those things where when we're finished, we want to make sure that everybody feels proud about the things that we've accomplished. And I haven't heard anybody that doesn't feel like, wow, this is fantastic. And I know that he and I are both very proud of the way that it turned out.
Sure. Now, when we think about guys, and I know, Mr. Koeppel, I've asked you this, I think in the past, when we think about what the football facility would look like and the track facility would look like, is there a place, whether it's in Central Illinois, anywhere else, Illinois, Midwest, you guys say they did it right, we should try to see if we can do something similar, but put our Clinton, touch on it? Mr. Koeppel, what comes to mind for you?
I think through places that we've gone, we've kind of taken bits and pieces. Obviously there's not one facility that I'd say I want to build it just like that. But I know we've been to Eureka High School this year and played. Their turf surface is probably one of the best surfaces I've been on. So I really would like to replicate the surface, the softness of it, the look of it. It just felt it was a really fast track and playable. Track surfaces at Unity High School, they've got a great track, the polyurethane track. I like that. So I think there's just bits and pieces, but I will tell you the ideas that we have in our head and that we've already been floating, there is nothing in Central Illinois or even south of 80 that will compare to what we're
Really?
hoping to build. Yes.
Yeah, nice. You guys need to. I connected with the football coach at Washington this summer, and I went up there, and you guys should go up there. They've got. Have you been there, Mr. Koeppel?
I know Coach Crouch very well.
Okay.
He was one of my college coaches.
Okay.
I've known him for years.
So you know what Washington's got going on then with that, like they redid the field, and they've got like all those Washington flags like on the the north end zone, and then they've got that like football, that actual like coaches complex in the corner there.
It's the Pantherplex.
The Pantherplex. And they've got like the nonprofit group that raises, like I know that we've got the boosters and stuff, but Washington's got a good little system.
Yeah, they've got a nice 12th man club going on over there.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
You know, so the restaurant that my family used to own that we sold to some friends of ours over in town, Kep's Place over in Washington, we actually have a brick right there on the building because they did it through some donations for the buildings with the bricks. And you're right, it's right there in the perfect angle on that loop, on that curve. It overlooks the field. It's a very nice complex, and they've really done a lot of things in the last couple of years. Now they've done some things that we're looking to do, like, because I don't know if you when the last time you're there, but they flipped their home and visitor side because their home side used to be in the sun too.
I remember that. Yeah. I used to go over there when I was a kid.
So they've done some things to make it more fan friendly for their home fans. Kind of some things we're wanting to do here. But they do have a very, very beautiful complex. Over there, so.
Yeah, nice, good stuff. Benton is another one. I don't know. I don't know if you guys want to go that far south. That's a hike. You're gonna have to like go golfing or something. If you
that'd be a shame.
Or
motorcycle ride
would be all right as well. That's right.
Can you fit the clubs in your?
We can figure it out.
Yeah. There's duct tape, right? Yeah. We're in Illinois. Duct tape.
We can figure this out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we got this.
No, Benton's a real nice one. We were down there a few years ago for football for that one, so they've got a nice base too. So
I think what excites me the most is, and obviously it's all stuff in our heads right now. There's a lot of things we have to make sure that we're trying to stay fiscally responsible for the things that we want to do.
Oh, come on,
but
Mr. Wayne.
No, I think that's important. I think that's an important element that we end up doing. But I think it's also important that we realize that we want to create. You asked us where are places that we visited. We want to be those places. We want people to go, who's done it right? And I think we do an awful lot right in this community, in its school district. And I think what we're trying to do is make sure that people understand that we're the ones that they need to come to. We're the ones that, whether it's talking about the educational side of things, whether we're talking about the athletic side of things, whether we're talking about whatever it is, that people go, hey, you need to go and check out Clinton. And I think we're starting to get that way. We're getting a lot of people that are noticing some stuff that we're doing, and they're going, oh yeah, that's kind of the direction we think we ought to go that way too. And I think that's really important. So we spend a lot of time trying to think about things that we can do to try to help make that thing better. I know a lot of people talked about, you brought it up, that we got to flip home side, that we're not staring into the sun, and I 1000% agree. And that isn't the intention as far as we move forward. How quickly that will get to happen will be dependent upon as we decide, okay, from a fiscal responsibility perspective, what can we do and when can we do it? But if we can get our whole big picture of what we'd really like to have happen, I promise you that from a pride of our community, there will be nobody that will look and go, wow, we didn't do a very good job on that. Because I hope and I believe that people look at the things that Matt and I have worked together on and can say, wow, you guys did it right.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was telling Mr. Nettles, you got to stick around and see all this through, Mr. Wayne. I mean, you can't be cutting bait on us around, 2025. Come on.
Listen, I like to think that what really needs to happen, because there's plenty of people that would like to see me just go ahead and move on and bring somebody else in. Make no mistake on that. But I think the key on it is let's come together as a community. Let's pass the 1% sales tax and let's get things taken care of. And then we can get it done in 4 years.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Mr. Wayne.
How you like that?
Are you like, I didn't have an agenda written out. You must have written one for me here this morning. But
absolutely.
No, what's your thought on how we pursue that? I think the principal of the high school is going to have a big say in how that gets pursued.
So I think the first thing is we just have to start the process. We have to start having some conversations. I think one of the things that nobody likes to pay taxes, and I recognize that, and that's not something that everybody's going to be jumping all over. But hopefully, they're starting to see the things that we're trying to do, and that only makes our abilities to do that a little bit easier. And I think the thing that I try to get out to anybody that I talk with is we have to realize that almost everybody around us already has passed it. So when you go and you pay, buy something in, pick an area, Champaign or wherever, you're paying that already. And the sad part is you're letting those other school districts get that money and do what they need to for theirs. but we're not willing to do that for our own. Oh, and by the way, then when they come into our community, they're paying our district to take care of some of those things. And I think that's the element that I think sometimes we forget about is you go, I don't want to pay more taxes, but you already are, because they're already going to other places that are requiring you to do it anyway.
Yeah, you go down you go to Forsyth or Decatur, and you're funding what Moreau is doing.
Yeah, so,
and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but
it's lost sometimes, I think, on I will tell you, I forget about those kinds of things. I'm not putting on anybody else more than I am myself. The realization that, listen, I'm already doing this, and this bad part about it is it's my community is the one that's not getting it. Everybody else is when I'm buying those things. And so I think when we stop and we think about those kinds of things, and the things that will then allow for us to do obviously we're focusing on the athletics part of it, but we also have plenty of things that we need to do from an academic. I've got a new science lab that we're looking at trying to get updated and taken care of. And that's kind of on the docket of things that are coming up in the upcoming years. We've also got our FACS classroom, which is one of our biggest classes that kids get into. And we've got a fantastic, Mrs. Bowman does a great job in that classroom, but those things are really out of date. And so those elements all get taken care of through that increase in revenue from that 1% sales tax, if we can get it to be passed and go from there.
Well, and I've told Mr. Nettles this 1,000 times. I mean, you go to one of your football games, you go to a basketball game, you have a IESA event in town, drive by McDonald's, drive by Dairy Queen, drive by any of those places out there, and those people could be funding pennies into our coffers for those things. You know what I mean?
Without a doubt. And I think those are those hidden amounts that are going to come in and play. And again, what it does, it provides us an ability to be that school that people can look at and go, oh, wow, because I can assure you, we're going to use that to make sure that that people that come in here look at it and go, wow, this district is doing things the right way. And we can be proud of all the stuff that we're able to do.
For sure. Anything from you, Mr. Keppel, on those things?
No, he pretty much hit the nail on the head. Yeah. I mean, we've had this conversation before.
Yeah,
that
sure.
I'm a big advocate of it. And the main thing is because, 5, 6, 7 years ago, you couldn't say you were paying it kind of everywhere you went. But I think over the years, more and more counties are passing it because they know the advantage that you have by doing it, that you can say that and be truthful with it and say you are paying it just about everywhere else you go. So we need to make the people that when they come to our town pay it and help us out, because we host all kinds of events where we're just packed. You go up and down any one of those businesses and they are packed when we host. We've got IHSA volleyball regionals in a couple weeks that we're hosting. And I guarantee you McDonald's, Dairy Queen, Cinco, all those businesses are going to have full parking lots because of who we're bringing to town. So it helps out on the front end and on the back end if we can get that going.
For sure. Well, gentlemen, let's take a break here. We'll come back with some more. Mr. Jerry Wayne and Matt Koeppel with Clinton High School, our guests in studio. More to come with them on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
How much fun is your job?
When was the last time you jumped out of bed before the alarm and got to work early?
Do the folks around your office laugh enough?
When you get a win, does everyone on the team celebrate your success?
Does solving creative problems give you a thrill?
We know that thrill.
And if you want more of it, we want to hear from you.
We work with local business to increase revenue and grow the bottom line.
We do it by creating smart, creative advertising on air, online, and on smartphones.
Every day, the Miller Media Group team comes to work and does a job that makes things better for our listener, our client, and our community.
We also believe in the importance of a balance of work and life.
We believe it's necessary for a thriving workplace.
If you're the creative problem solver, we're looking for you. You could earn with commissions as much as $50,000 a year.
Plus, we offer generous time off.
Sound good?
Sound like leaping out of bed for?
Get started by sending an email to sales@randyradio.com.
That's sales@randyradio.com.
The Miller Media Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Do you suffer from conditions such as rheumatoid or psoriatic arthritis, lupus, or gout, or any other number of rheumatic conditions? Gibson Area Hospital Rheumatology Clinic and Dr. Sohail Farshad can help provide targeted and comprehensive care for patients with joint, muscle, and complex connective tissue diseases. Now serving DeWitt County at the Warner Specialty Clinic in Clinton, Dr. Farshad is dedicated to diagnosing and improving the lives of patients affected by rheumatic conditions. Schedule your appointment today in Clinton by calling 217-784-2806.
Your own home without the maintenance. If you're 55 or better, a beautiful Liberty Village villa could be yours. This is Erin, and I invite you to come take a tour of our move-in ready villa. Click the Liberty Village icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Simply the finest.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Once again, and good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence, and our guest in studio today, Mr. Jerry Wayne, is the principal of Clinton High School, and Matt Koeppel is the athletic director at Clinton High School. And Mr. Wayne, let's talk Apple and Pork Weekend, because I know students across your building are really involved in those 2 days of Apple and Pork Festival. So just kind of give us a rundown of what are your kids doing? How many kids are doing this stuff?
Yeah, Apple and Pork obviously is such a huge thing for our whole community, period. But it obviously is also huge for our high school as a whole, because basically just about any organization that we have that does things is involved in some way. We start with the band that goes out there, and we've got 100-ish kids that go out there and perform on, I believe it's on Saturday morning is typically when they end up performing. You've got all of your sports teams typically that are out helping with the parking out at the high school parking lot. You got your FFA program that's running their booth. It's a huge fundraiser for all of our programs to be able to kind of bring in some of the funds that they need to be able to do, to be able to whether it's to go to some of the events and things that they naturally go to, or whether it's just something that they have money towards, so they can go, okay, let's make this program the best that it can be. Whether it's, might be some shirts that they decide that they want to get for each participant to be a part of it. It just allows for some flexibility for them to utilize some of those funds to make their program the best it possibly can be. It's a long weekend. I know Mr. Koeppel is out there every single day of the weekend and every hour of every day to try to get to it. And, our kids are a large part of that.
Mr. Koeppel, as the guy that has to kind of set budgets for programs and, order materials and those sorts of things, how far does Apple and Pork go in alleviating the necessity of fundraising and year-round efforts for some of these programs?
Well, each year we have up to 10 teams that can park cars. We have 10 shifts. And I think since I've been doing it, anywhere they work an hour and a half shift, and they usually bring in anywhere from, I'll say, $650 to like $900 for that shift. And that's their chunk that they get to keep. And they can use that for team meals or different kinds of things that they want to do. Some of them use it to help pay for their Huddle subscription, which helps as a filming, and it does stats for their game, stuff like. So each team that's doing it has a reason they're doing it to help to kind of fund or do things that they need to do. So
sure.
I've never been in a school where they have a built-in fundraiser like that. He is right. It is 2 long days, especially when it's hot and muggy out or if it's rainy. But like this weekend, it's supposed to be pretty nice. So on those weekends, it works out pretty well. I think Sunday they said there's a chance of rain, but it's something that we can do and allow our teams to do so. And it beats selling cookies or pizzas or, some of those things. If you can work an hour and a half shift to make that kind of money, it definitely benefits your team.
Yeah, for sure. And it takes away, having to tap into, family members for those cookie sales or whatever, apparel sale. I mean, people like buying shirts and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. Not to beat a dead horse, but it's kind of along those same lines that we just talked about with the 1% sales tax. This is a great opportunity for us to bring in people from outside of our community, and they get to handle the fundraising side of things for us, as opposed to it always having to come from the people that are already here in the day-to-day interaction. So it's just a fantastic thing.
Well said. Well, one more time, Mr. Wayne, just highlight, some of the programs where the kids are going to be, how the community and folks coming in can support them. How about that?
Yeah, I think first of all, I encourage you to go out. I'm pretty sure it's Saturday morning, and I think it's normally around 9:00. Just go out and enjoy the band, the different songs that they're going to end up play for everybody. It's right there on the Homestead grounds. And obviously, once you're there, we have multiple organizations that are going to have booths of the great food that you have the opportunity of. I would encourage everybody to get out there and try some maybe even something different. Maybe you've been here before, but you're like, oh, I've never tried this, and just give it a shot, because
what do you
everything
like?
they do. What do I not like, Seth? This is a real question. So we have a lot of go-tos that we always end up having. I know it might seem weird, and hopefully a lot of people have tried it, but one of the go-tos for me is always the baked potato booth that the Otters always put on, and part of that's because it was near and dear to my heart because I always worked it for because my kids were in it.
Oh, okay.
But I always make sure I go get one of those tasty brats that are going to be down there. We always make sure that we try to get a gingerbread cookie. Usually I'll try to get a piece of the apple cake that's going to end up being there. I like the ham sandwich that's going to be. I mean, I could go on and talk about that. Clearly, if you look at me, I'm a foodie. I do like my food. But it's great because you get to taste some good food, but you're also supporting so many different organizations. And we're talking about the high school organizations, but there's so many organizations within our community that are an essential part of this whole thing.
And they tie into the high school in a lot of ways.
And so I just want to encourage everybody to go out and take advantage of those opportunities, enjoy the weather, enjoy the camaraderie that happens around there, and get some tasty treats.
See, he gets to enjoy the food. I get the park car.
I was going to say,
see how that trade-off works.
Yeah,
that's not really a fair trade-off.
I was going to say, you need to take a shift or two out there for him.
Well, no, he has his role. I have my role. What I probably should do moving forward is I'll just take snapshots of everything that I eat and I'll send them to him so he feels like he's a part of it.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody always says that's the fine print of the contract.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
The one weekend we have no sporting events and I'm still at the high school for 12 hours each day.
I want to. He loves it. I mean, you guys don't understand. He really loves the opportunity to do that. So if you get a chance to give him a little honk, a little smile. Say,
I would absolutely
love you being here.
Give a honk.
Yeah.
Throw a donation into the pot.
There you go.
Boom, there you go.
Mr. Koeppel, let's wrap things up this morning. Friday night's a special night at Clinton High School. What's going on?
Yes, Friday night we're hosting the football game. We're playing Meridian High School, but it's our military appreciation night. And so we've bought some uniforms this year that are military themed after the Washington Commanders military themed uniforms. So we'll be wearing those Friday night. We are also bringing in Freedom Paws, an organization out of Chillicothe, Illinois, who they raise service dogs for vets who suffer from PTSD or they just need a comfort animal. So they will be on site to help. They will be taking donations on site. We also sold shirts with our American flag, RC logo with the American flag embedded into it.
Oh, cool.
We sold those. So we received some profits from that. I will not tell you how much we raised already because I have a certain goal in mind that I would like to present them. And we are really close to that goal. So if you are coming out Friday night to the game, wear your red, white, and blue, support your Maroons. And if you see the bucket to donate to the Freedom Paws, if you could throw $5, $1, some loose change, whatever you got in there, throw it into the bucket, and we're going to see how much we can raise for this organization so we can do some good for our vets who did some good for us.
Fantastic. That's Friday night. Gentlemen, we'll see you this weekend and appreciate your time as always. Mr. Jerry Wayne and Matt Koeppel with Clinton High School, our guest. Network News on the way.
WHOW.